Remember those cars from the 2000s that made you cringe? The ones with weird designs, terrible gas mileage, and more problems than features. In this video, we're counting down the absolute worst cars of the 2000s. By the end of the video, you'll be glad you didn't end up with one of these in your driveway. When the Chevy Equinox debuted in 2005, it had a strong start with over 130,000 units sold in its first year. However, things quickly went downhill. The crossover, designed to be sporty and fuel-efficient, lacked the power and performance customers expected, feeling like driving a brick on wheels. One owner summed it up perfectly: "I have to floor it all the time to keep up with traffic." Chevy's rushed design process highlighted the importance of understanding customer needs in today's market. The Equinox's failure became a lesson in the dangers of quick fixes without thorough planning. Meanwhile, Buick was about to face its own disaster. The Buick Rendezvous left everyone scratching their heads. Was it an SUV, minivan, or a station wagon with muscles? Either way, it failed to impress. At $45,000, Buick promised a high-end ride, but instead, it was as exciting as watching paint dry. Owners quickly became best friends with their mechanics, as constant breakdowns were the norm. No wonder its resale value plummeted fast. This misstep proved that a confusing identity and unreliable performance don't make for a good recipe in the automotive world. The 2000s were rough for many cars, but the Subaru B9 Tribeca took it to a whole new level. Known for its bizarre front grille, which many compared to an airplane propeller, the Tribeca quickly became the target of ridicule from auto designers and enthusiasts alike. It wasn't just the looks. Its underpowered engine made even basic driving a challenge. Subaru tried to salvage it with a facelift, but the damage was already done. The Tribeca taught Subaru a hard lesson: when you're known for dependability, stick to what works and avoid radical changes. Dodge's car missteps hit hard with the Avenger and Caliber, both of which failed to deliver on the brand's ambitious goals. The Avenger was underwhelming, offering little excitement and a cheap, toy-like interior that earned it a Fisher-Price comparison. The Caliber, meanwhile, suffered from a noisy CVT transmission that made it feel more like mowing the lawn than driving. Its cramped interior felt more like public transport than a personal vehicle. Both cars damaged Dodge's reputation and market share, showing that cutting corners on quality leads to failure. Kia's Zanti aimed high but missed the mark, trying to pass itself off as a luxury car with a grille that screamed, "I want to be a Benz." Unfortunately, its performance didn't match the look. The underpowered V6 engine and boat-like handling left much to be desired. To make matters worse, Kia priced the Amanti near real luxury competitors who offered far better value for the money. The Amanti taught Kia a hard lesson: a shiny exterior isn't enough to create a true luxury brand. Chrysler's attempt to conquer the mid-size car market with the Sebring turned into a disaster that nearly sank the company. Plagued by dismal reliability, the Sebring made even notoriously unreliable cars look dependable. Inside, cost-cutting was painfully obvious, with flimsy controls and build quality that felt cheaper than a dollar store toy. Its underpowered engine struggled to move the car while delivering awful gas mileage. You might have been better off pushing it. Owners described the Sebring as a never-ending parade of repairs, with constant issues like transmission failures and electrical problems. Many of these cars spent more time in the shop than on the road. Unsurprisingly, Chrysler's reputation tanked as quickly as the Sebring's resale value. As Chrysler wrestled with the Sebring debacle, another automaker was about to make an even bigger misstep. The Hummer H3 was a costly mistake for General Motors, and it was outdated before it even hit the market. Released in 2005, during a time of rising gas prices, the H3's 16-mile-per-gallon city rating made it impractical when fuel costs soared to $4 per gallon by 2008. Despite its size, the interior felt cramped, with tight seats and poor visibility, making it feel more like driving a tank. To make matters worse, the H3 depreciated rapidly. The H3 was a perfect example of GM's failure to adapt to changing market conditions, and the downfall of the Hummer brand showed just how crucial it was to stay in tune with consumer demands. The Hummer H3 taught GM a tough lesson, but the Pontiac Aztec drove the point home. When unveiled in 1999, its bizarre design left people wondering if its creators had ever seen a car. What started as a promising concept turned into a visual disaster, an awkward mix of SUV and minivan. Despite offering innovative features like a built-in air compressor and camping-ready setup, the Aztec's looks were its downfall. People simply couldn't see past its design, and it became the butt of car jokes, even landing on Time magazine's list of the 50 worst cars ever. The Aztec proved that in the car world, style matters just as much as innovation, and being different isn't always a good thing. The PT Cruiser went from a retro sensation to a forgotten relic in record time. Once selling over 140,000 units annually, its numbers plummeted to just 7,000 a few years later. What caused its dramatic downfall? When it debuted, the PT Cruiser was a hit, even earning Motor Trend's Car of the Year in 2001. Its unique retro design turned heads, but like bell-bottom jeans, the trend didn't last. Beyond its fading style, the PT Cruiser faced major issues with engines, transmissions, and electrical systems. Its value also dropped fast, making it a poor investment for buyers. Chrysler's biggest mistake? Letting the PT Cruiser stagnate. While competitors innovated, the Cruiser stayed stuck in the past, a misstep that sealed its fate. The Chevrolet HHR felt like Chevy's desperate attempt to revive old ideas, and it failed spectacularly. Essentially a copy of the PT Cruiser, the HHR's outdated design and oversized proportions didn't win any fans, and it didn't take long for people to notice the similarities. But the problems went far beyond its looks. The HHR was plagued with countless issues, from electrical glitches to mechanical failures. Owners spent so much time at dealerships, they might as well have pitched tents. Even when new, the HHR felt outdated, as if Chevy brought back a relic instead of something innovative. It symbolized GM's struggle to keep up while competitors pushed forward. The HHR wasn't just a bad car, it was a glaring sign that Chevy needed to rethink its playbook. Saturn's downfall is a stark reminder of how quickly a brand can lose its shine. Once hailed as a different kind of car company, Saturn's reputation unraveled with the release of the 2003 Ion, a model so poorly received that it was called the second worst car of the millennium by a GM insider. The Ion marked a dramatic shift from Saturn's early success. Its cheap plastic interior, uncomfortable ride, and excessive noise turned off customers, tarnishing the brand's image. Trust eroded, sales plummeted, and Saturn's standing in the market crumbled. The Ion didn't just fail, it symbolized Saturn's decline. This misstep highlights a harsh truth in the automotive world. One poorly executed model can destroy years of goodwill and success. The 2003 Chevrolet SSR aimed to revolutionize the market, but became a lesson in what not to do. This retro-styled convertible pickup grabbed attention as a concept car, but its production version failed to deliver on practicality and performance. The SSR's small, covered bed made it impractical as a truck, while its lackluster power and awkward handling disappointed as a sports car. Priced higher than some luxury vehicles, it left buyers confused about what it was supposed to be: a truck, a convertible, or a sports car. And it failed at all three. Chevy misunderstood the retro trend, thinking looks alone would sell. Instead, the SSR highlighted the need for function to match form. It was a costly reminder that good design must be backed by real-world utility. Lincoln's attempt at a luxury pickup, the Blackwood, was a bold move that quickly fell flat. Priced at $52,000, it aimed to combine truck utility with high-end features, but missed the mark. A carpeted bed and powered tonneau cover, while fancy, made it impractical for real work. The Blackwood lasted just 1 year, becoming one of the biggest flops in automotive history. Lincoln misjudged its audience, assuming luxury alone would appeal to pickup buyers. Instead, they overlooked the truck market's core value: functionality. This misstep proved that in trucks, practicality outweighs flashy features. For Lincoln, it was an expensive lesson in understanding what pickup owners truly need. GM was about to make a major misstep that shook up the minivan market in all the wrong ways. Their plan for unibody minivans promised a car-like driving experience with family-friendly practicality. Sounds good, but the reality didn't deliver. Enter the Chevrolet Uplander and Pontiac Montana SV6, vans caught between being a minivan and an SUV, an identity crisis consumers rejected. Mechanical issues plagued them, and car reviewers slammed their unrefined performance and lack of quality. The result? GM's family car market share plummeted, unable to compete with established models from Chrysler and Japanese brands. It was a tough lesson. Reinventing a classic doesn't always work. Now we want to hear from you. Did you own any of these vehicles? Don't be shy. Share it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.